ready for chaos, because we've got Lucci versus Zoro beating the crap out of each other, Luffy and Kizaru going at it too, even Bonnie's caught up in the mess. Everyone's throwing punches left and right. So stay tuned, cause today's recap is wild. Back on Egghead. Man, I can't even put into words how much I missed Sundays like this. The seagulls are casually flying by. And even Laboon shows up to remind us that One Piece is already pretty old, but not older than you, buddy. Wait a second. Isn't that the same seagull from the Netflix live action? One Piece multiverse confirmed. And then the seagull just yells out, "Free shipping!" Yeah, it's holding a newspaper with a quick recap of what happened. Back on Egghead, which, for someone like me with ADHD, definitely means I'm gonna need to rewatch everything again. And now you're watching a recap of a recap. Thanks, man. What a trip. The clash between Luffy and Lucci was insane. I totally agree. But the real plot twist is that Adam Sandler's coming after the Straw Hats. The whole world's already gossiping about it. And every time we get some background characters gossiping, the classic characters also pop up. Everyone's scared Garp might have kicked the bucket. Even the mayor's losing his patience and reminds everyone. In One Piece, nobody really dies. Well, almost nobody. Ace flashbacks. The old guy gets so worked up he wakes up Shanks Jr. Good thing Makino isn't a feminist. This scene is basically a hint that Two Piece is real, and it's gonna be about Shanks' son. Wait, who even is this guy with the rooster chin? The tough old lady is all worried about Luffy and Garp. She's thinking about them and crying in full 3D. That's exactly what happens every time I say I'm moving out. Out of nowhere, Itachi's crows fly across the sky. And the ground starts shaking, like we're watching Deadliest Weights. The whole East Blue is trembling. Did I accidentally start Attack on Titan without noticing? Actually, scratch that, the whole world is shaking. So yeah, it's probably the rumbling for real. Just look at the chaos the world's turned into. That's what happens when they keep us without One Piece for 6 months. And the jerk who ordered Lelougia to meet up with Ace? Yeah, he's just out here chilling, having a picnic with the squad. Look at the size of that destruction. They did the same thing to southern Brazil. Folks in Bikaland are furious now that they've got no beach left to run on. I had a fish like that once in Angry Shark. No one's really sure why the sky's gotten so dark. I mean, Shinron doesn't exist in this world, right? Back to Egghead Island, the entire Navy is on its way there. Even Adam Sandler's tagging along, claiming Click 2 is being filmed on location. Then a sea beast shows up. It looks like one of those cheap $1 toy snakes. Until Adam very politely gives it a warm welcome. Sentomara's already annoyed, cause Ibama agents are watching this recap. And Adam's just like, hey, it was self-defense, alright? New intro just dropped. Hit that like button. And this next one, that's your cue to subscribe, crewmate. After all that running, I'm feeling like Minato out here. Kizaru just clocked out for his break. And he's casually eating Naruto's favorite food. Meanwhile, the pacifistas start walking around like colossal titans. Adam Sandler tells Sentomaru to give up. I mean, the guy's on his lunch break. Then we get a flashback to when Kizaru was just a regular worker, fixing light bulbs. And Sentomaru was out there rocking a coral belt in judo. Adam lets him know he's only got 5 minutes left for lunch. And so far, no one realizes there's a freaking Gorosei on board. The blind marine starts feeding the old man some info. Dude basically sums up all of Egghead Part 1 in under 3 minutes. He even says his source was Davy Jones, the biggest One Piece fan in the universe. And he's casually tossing a sausage into his mouth while explaining everything. Then he drops the real bomb. You know CP0, the crew we dumped all our funding into? Yeah, turns out it would have been better to bet on the slot machines. They all got wiped out and taken hostage. Meanwhile, Luffy and the gang are completely cornered. So the old guy asks, where are the Egghead employees? And blind guy says they all quit and are planning to sue the company. Oh, and apparently Bonnie was spotted on the island too. A collect call starts coming in. Kizaru complains, man, I'm still on break. But the DJs insist, you gotta hear this one. It's York on the line. And she's yelling at the Gorosei because she has a life insurance policy with them. But they tell her Egghead Island isn't covered. So she snaps back, don't bother me anymore, I've got the Seraphims with me. Stop fantasizing about York, crew. She's a robot, bro. Get it together. The Gorosei ask if she knows how to build that weapon. She just laughs like, buddy, I've already made 2 of them. Then she makes them promise not to hurt her. Poor girl doesn't realize their promises are about as real as a politician's. She also makes them promise she'll become a celestial dragon. And they're like, sure, sweetie. You'll even get to meet Oda himself. So she goes, great. Then hurry up and rescue me from these lunatics. Luffy just smiles at her, with the same face I make when I crack open my phone's front camera. Then he casually starts munching on some meat. while you're over here admiring this video's thumbnail. Nami asks Luffy, so, what are we gonna do with her? Luffy replies, immoral things. Just kidding, he only wants to use her as a human shield to escape. Sanji shows up offering pancakes to Bonnie. Easy there, Sanji, that's how you catch a case. I gotta say, Frankie's new voice threw me off so hard I almost lost it. But Chopper, still the same adorable little fluffball as always. Rob Lucci is watching like, dang, York really got the Gorosei's respect like that. Then Luffy tells Usopp to hand him the phone, because this collect call is about to go wild. And Luffy bursts in yelling, yo, what's up, you retirement fund geezers? My name is Monkey D. Monkey, and I'm gonna be king of this whole dang thing. Usopp's already freaking out from that bold entrance. Then Luffy drops the bomb. We've got Einstein with us. And if you want York, full package and all, tell your ships to get outta our way. That look Nami's giving? It's because you still haven't subscribed to the channel, you sneaky slacker. Everyone's shook by Luffy's challenge. Vivi's all worried. And Luffy, well, look at that super concerned face of his. The Gorosei try throwing a bait question to get info from Luffy. And if it weren't for Robin, he would have definitely taken it and spilled everything. Luffy thinks he already scared everyone off. But Usopp, the king of truth and lies, knows the real deal. Then the old guy with dreads lays out his priorities. York, for obvious reasons. Punk Records, because apparently it has lost episodes of El Chavo. And the factory, where you can literally build a doomsday weapon. Everything else, yeah, that can get nuked if needed. Suddenly, York starts crying and yelling that Palmeiras is the best soccer team in the world. But Nami, a hardcore Corinthians fan, hits her with a smack like, yeah, at least my team's got a world title. Chopper, being the adorable bean he is, asks Robin if she's okay. And I'm betting she is. She even thanks our doctor, who nearly explodes with joy hearing that. Einstein also thanks them, glad he didn't end up getting turned into a Bahia-style barbecue. We get a flashback of alternate universe Usopp getting absolutely wrecked. He tries to square up with Zoro, but his back cracks louder than mine when I get out of bed in the morning. Lilith starts crying, cause she thinks Pelopunk kicked the bucket. But surprise, he didn't, my dude. Usopp tells her to shut up, cause he's trying to listen to Javam Pan. And even the Den Den Mushi looks annoyed right now. Meanwhile, down below, there's even a guy casually munching on some McFries. All the Seraphim are grounded, locked inside these special bubbles that nullify their powers. Frankie thanks her for letting them go. But real talk, if it weren't for Luffy, they would have been trapped in there for like 6 months straight. Jinbe catches on real quick. She only did it, cause Minnie Hancock has a soft spot for Luffy. Luffy says thank you and she starts tearing up. I mean, same. If Luffy thanked me, I'd be emotional too. York is still just chilling in that same pose. She taunts Lilith like, girls with short hair are a red flag. Lilith's ready to throw hands. Side note, do you agree with her? Drop a comment and let me know. Einstein says there's no way out unless they disable the barrier. The problem? York's the only one with the password, and she's not sharing it anytime soon. I swear I forget this Vegapunk's name every single time. Kaku notices Lucci's being way too quiet. Lucci just turns and goes. And what about Kiko? Pause for a quick reminder. Drop that juicy like if you haven't already. And hey, if you just saw this other little cutscene pop up, that means you already subscribed. Stussy shows up, confirming what we all knew. One Piece is officially rated M now. She drops the bomb. We're surrounded. It's game over. Sanji throws in a little flirt, nothing too crazy. But hey, I actually missed that side of him. Nami points out there's only one direction the log pose is showing. And Einstein drops the bomb. That path leads straight to Elbaf. Yes, my friends, the long-awaited Promised Island. At this rate, the anime will only get to this arc in like 2050. Until then, they've got to figure out how to get off Egghead Island. That's when Einstein suggests using the Vegazord to carry the Sunny and bounce out of there. Only catch, the Vegazord runs on Wi-Fi. So the second they leave the coverage area, it's game over. Frankie's like, no worries, we'll just use the boost camp after that. He and Einstein do a little fist bump, cause both of them are addicted to Coca-Cola. And no, I'm not sponsored, unfortunately. The Vegapunks start searching for deals on Amazon. And if you're also hunting for some discounts, check out the link in the description. Luffy's ready to jump into the next arc immediately. They all head toward the Sunny, with Luffy carrying nothing but food on his back. Still complaining, not enough. I'm bucking right now. He even wonders if Bonnie was just PMSing earlier, since she went from full meltdown mode. to suddenly being all cute and calm. Meanwhile, Adam enters the room where Dreadlock Grandpa is. Bro, how is that bottle of wine still not empty? The old man thinks Adam will be able to access Egghead's system, because the island is made of lasers, and Adam himself is made of light. What kind of cracked out logic is that? Adam's like, okay, but what about my buddy Toru? And the old man just hits him with, Jackie Chan adventures ended years ago, kid. And now, attention my friends, because things are about to go completely nuts. They even called in Chopper's grandpa. Or is that Ziggs from League of Legends? My Uncle Longneck is back in the anime too, along with Sabretooth from the X-Men. They make it to the sunny. But hold up, check out Adam's power level. He's charging up a seriously cursed Kamehameha. Toru's hyped, cause it's about to go full chaos. And now the colossal Kumas start moving too. But plot twist, that whole Kamehameha from Adam Sandler? It was actually a teleportation move. He totally trolled us. Everyone's stunned. And I mean really stunned. Cause boom, that explosion was wild. Hope Egghead Island has good insurance. Luffy already noticed that there's a total maniac on the island. No time for filler today. This episode jumped straight into the chaos. Kizaru lands a heavy kick on Sentomaru, who manages to block it. And then he hits him with a classic, "You planning to get ripped or what, bro?" But Sentomaru just shrugs it off. He knows the ladies love a guy with some fluff. Once again, they clash hard, the kind of clash that demands popcorn. Meanwhile, the one-eyed Vice Admiral is commentating the whole fight like it's the World Cup. And that goth Vice Admiral? If I were a pirate, I'd let her arrest me, no questions asked. Then begins the Pacifista Purge operation. And all hell breaks loose, bullets flying with zero mercy. Apparently, none of the pacifistas were trained to dodge fireworks. If you caught a glimpse of the cleavage, go ahead and comment, "I saw it." But seriously, what the heck is that creature? One second I'm watching One Piece, the next I'm on the Lion King channel. Mufasa goes full beast mode on everyone. Another sea monster throws a headbutt like your drunk uncle at a family barbecue. And just when you think it can't get any weirder, bam, a ratfish with a drill nose shows up. At this point, it feels like I accidentally switched to Rick and Morty. All the Chimera monsters from Full Metal Alchemist pull up and start sinking ships. Then comes that classic anime moment where the survivors ask themselves, can this get any worse? And we all know the answer to that one, right? So, who's gonna save them now? And out of nowhere, Giraffe Neck screams, "Emmy!" P.S. Don't forget to see your dentist regularly, crew. These pacifistas feel like Dragon Ball characters who only know one move. But that goth Vice Admiral pulls up and shows she only needs one move. And if you can't win a fight with a solid roundhouse kick, remember that detail. It's gonna come in handy later on in the episode. She barely landed one big kick and already came back with another. But she's not the only one throwing kicks like she's in a UFC match. Ziggs is out here trying to figure out where the CP0 is being held. The Goth Queen just tells him, look up. See anything suspicious? Well, just a giant egg-shaped megalab in the sky. Yeah, probably not that. Meanwhile, the Straw Hats are outside chillin', just watching the show like it's a rerun of a classic. Everyone's got that feeling in their gut, like something's about to go horribly wrong. But the old man tells them to chill, Sentomaru's gonna tank it all. Then Usopp hits him with, even that monster over there? That old man's confidence disappeared faster than his clean underwear. Vegapitos is out here calm as ever, already claiming victory like the game's over. Zoro tells her to keep quiet unless she wants to lose her tongue. CP0. Yeah, they're just kinda there. Not doing much, not smelling much either. And then the panic starts creeping in. Because everyone remembers what happened back in Sabaody. When they got beat down so bad they looked like stray dogs in the rain. Kizaru's still going off, throwing feet, with Sentomaru. That same old man who was just preaching, believe in him, is now wondering if he should start digging some graves, one-way trip style. The rest of the Vegapunks, still scrolling Amazon looking for deals. And hey, you can beat them to it. Just hit the link in the video description, crewmate. Sentomaru can barely even see Kizaru. Looks like Click 2 just got delayed again. Flashback time. We rewind a bit to when Vegapunk didn't have white hair yet. Though his gossipy tongue, still the same as always. Suddenly, they hear someone yelling like a maniac in the distance, and just ignore it. Honestly, same. I do that every time I walk through downtown. They were headed out to beat up some wild bears. But turns out they showed up late to the party. Sentomaru's got a Sharingan symbol on his stomach now. Like, isn't it enough that the dude already sounds like Naruto? Kizaru wants to know if he was the one who took down the bears. I mean, it's kinda obvious, Kizaru. No wonder you wear sunglasses. Vegapunk asks why he's all alone out here. The kid says he hates his hometown and would rather fight bears. Man, this new generation really does need a good smack sometimes. Then he says he wants to be an apprentice. So young and already throwing his future in the trash. Though hey, his reason? He just wants to eat. Why am I not surprised? Vegapunk's already thinking, should I make this kid wash dishes or cook? Fast forward a little. Now Sentomaru asks Kizaru how he handles old folks. Kizaru gets real salty after being called uncle by some brat. Yeah, I feel that one deep. Alright, back to the present. The emotional flashback arc is over. Sentomaru smacks Kizaru like he's swatting a fly near his face. And Kizaru fires back with a light-speed finger poke straight to Sentomaru's chest. Make sure to get your prostate exams. Crewmate, if you forgot, go ahead and smash that like button. And join the crew by subscribing. See? That even rhymed, bro. Kizaru's starting to give off some serious Akainu vibes now. Oh, that can't be a good sign. The dude just found the remote control for the pacifistas. And guess what? He immediately hits the off button. Then he reboots the giant mech to go attack the sea beasts instead. So yeah, tonight's dinner might be sea beast tilapia. Did Casa Grande switch sides and become a marine now? Everyone starts celebrating, now that the pacifistas are under their command. Meanwhile, Galvio's still streaming all the updates straight to the Gorosei Eye. The Straw Hats realize things just went from crazy to absolute chaos. Sentomaru's down for the count, beautifully knocked out, I must say. That's what happens when you trust a chubby Star Wars fan with adult responsibilities. And you thought programmers just sat in chairs all day, huh? Kizaru takes a moment to admire the pollution in Sao Paulo. And he knows that just one step will get him right into the Straw Hats room. He blasts off into the sky like a full-on Power Ranger, while the Vegazord is hauling the Sunny away with everyone on board. And Bonnie, she's just casually munching her snack like nothing's happening. Actually, Luffy's doing the same, not that that's a surprise to anyone. Man, Toei really knows how to push things over the top. Suddenly, an alarm starts blaring, and Lilith's standing there, completely confused about what the heck just happened. With a little help from the giant Zord, Kizaru finally manages to break into the lab. And now he's just standing there like, wait, what was I supposed to protect, and what was I supposed to destroy again? Let's just hope he's not like me, constantly mixing things up. Come on, old man, just finish that damn code already. In the chaos of life, I feel like I'm Stussy. But out of nowhere, Rob Lucci rushes at the old guy, trying to make him kick the bucket right then and there. Luckily, Stussy was sharp this time. Well, lucky for Vegapunk at least. Sanji's not taking any chances. Dude whips out a .38 and locks up Kaku. Meanwhile, Big Zoro's had enough of the nonsense and charges at the Leopard Boy. Now that fight. I want front row seats, popcorn and everything. Both of them decide it's time to decorate the walls with some extra holes. Kizaru spots the Vegazord and instantly knows something's fishy. He sees the Sunny there and realizes, yeah, playtime's over. Frankie turns to Luffy like, boss, what now? But Luffy already has the answer right at his fingertips. Kizaru even stops charging his energy beam at his fingertip, just to greet Luffy with a polite little, good morning. But Luffy, he flies in with a kick so fast, it's like he's been waiting all week for this. Remember how I told you at the beginning of the video to keep that in mind? Well, this is why. Kizaru's like, bro, chill. What's with the aggression? Come at me calm, man. But Luffy's not here for friendly chats. He hits him with the classic. We're now 100 times stronger than before. You son of a... For those who forgot, Kuma had gone totally berserk. He broke free like Wolverine in an X-Men movie. Dragon is caught off guard, thinking Kuma might be hiding some green stuff and is running away because of it. We see the guy can fly, but for some reason, he decides to climb instead. Which, as expected, doesn't go so well. But of course, he keeps climbing anyway, just to add some dramatic flair to the story. Turns out, he was actually heading straight to Mariehua. They needed to stop that giant robot no matter what. And he falls to the ground like Neymar taking a dive. But hey, this isn't the kind of place where you can just call in sick for the weekend. They catch him right away. No mercy. Then he pulls off a massive attack, something like a full-on Kamehameha, blasting everything around Mariehua and wiping out everyone nearby. Bad luck for you, spoiled rich kids. But now things are about to get even crazier, because Akainu himself just showed up to put an end to Kuma's wild rampage. While stepping on a soldier's head, those creepy celestial dragons start demanding that Akainu beat the crap out of Kuma. Akainu makes it clear, there's no way Kuma's getting past him, and he rushes straight at him with zero hesitation. Wait, did Kuma really think he could go head-to-head with a human rocket launcher? He decides to run, because a live sheep is worth more than a dead lion. And speaking of Akainu, flashback time. A while back, he told Bonnie straight up, Kuma had already kicked the bucket ages ago. What's left is nothing but a soulless shell. Bonnie refuses to believe that Kuma would ever abandon her. Back to present-day Akainu. He's trying to figure out where Kuma might have gone. But let's jump back to Egghead Island. Because the real chaos is happening over there. The Easter fish is already secured. Actually, more than one, to be honest. The Marines are slowly taking over the place. But let's be real, I know what you really want to see. This all-out brawl right here. Luffy, still in Gear 4, keeps going at Kizaru non-stop. And the Clash of Titans doesn't let up. Kizaru just can't wrap his head around why Luffy's protecting Vegapunk. And Luffy can't understand why they're trying to send the old man to the grave. Kizaru goes full Power Ranger mode and blasts into the sky. He says he doesn't want to take out the old man. Though that's not really what it looks like. He throws down a huge lightning strike on Luffy. But surprise! It's actually just a teleport. And he launches Luffy flying backward with everything he's got. Also, is it just me or are Kizaru's glasses kinda fire? For the first time, the Megazord goes down first. And humbly, yo, hit that like button and hype this up to show some love. Only the real ones subscribe. Much love, fam. Then suddenly, boom! Everyone's flying in different directions across the island. Lilith is completely lost. And she's like, run girl, this thing's about to blow. She starts screaming, save yourselves! And probably typing in the group chat, F in the chat for Megazord. Meanwhile, Frankie's stressing hard about the Sunny. But right now, that's the least of their problems. Because Kizaru is right behind them, pause. He immediately warns Bonnie that the old man's days are numbered. But Bonnie says she's changed targets, just a moment ago, in fact. She charges straight at Kizaru, trying to land a hit. Which, let's be honest, is a huge mistake. Once again, Toei never misses a chance for drama. Kizaru gives her a warm-up kick. And she slams hard into the wall. Yeah, she's definitely not doing great after that one. Frankie, with rage in his eyes, powers up his ultimate attack. But before he can fire, Kizaru vanishes. Lilith notices, he went straight for Stella. Usopp asks, yo, did they finally shut down the human battery pack or what? Frankie's already yelling for them to get the lightning-proof vest ready. After 3 whole episodes, Stella finally found the Amazon deals. BTW, the link's in the video description. Go grab yours while it lasts. The Vegapunks managed to crack the shutdown code for the barrier. And now Vegaboobs is pissed. Stella tells Sanji and Jinbe to carry his stuff like pack mules. Frankie tells Usopp to stop eavesdropping on other people's drama and get moving already. The old man says everything's ready. And asks Frankie if the Sunny is prepped for the getaway. Frankie's like, what part of get out of here now, didn't you get, you clowns? But now they're really screwed. Because Kizaru just pulled up, almost kissing Stella on arrival. Nami's like, we're not making it past 4 more episodes, tops. Usopp's already convinced this is the end for him. And Kizaru? Yeah, he's about to drop the bomb on Stella. Hey, you remember that cool-looking Megazord of yours? Yeah, you won't be able to use him in the next season of Power Rangers. I admit it, I'm mad at Kizaru too for that one. He claims he didn't want to do it. But let's be real. If he doesn't follow orders, no paycheck. No pension, no coffee breaks. He had no choice. Then suddenly, boom, an earthquake hits. The drums start beating, and if you've seen the mask, you already know what's about to go down. Yeah, I know y'all missed Luffy in Gear 5. I like to call him Loony Luffy. He lets out a wild Tarzan scream. And of course, that creepy Joker smile is back too. Frankie's totally lost. Like, did I just see the Road Runner flying across the sky? Kizaru glitches for a sec. Like his internal window system just froze. Then a giant hand starts grabbing him out of nowhere. And everyone around starts doing that exaggerated cartoon eyeball pop. Even Brook. And that man doesn't even have eyes. Gear 5 Luffy grabs Kizaru from behind. Boom. Cut to Luffy. Cut to the robot. Cut to Luffy. Cut to the robot. Cut to Luffy again. Cut to the robot again. Cut to Luffy laughing like a maniac. Cut to a hot girl. Episode over. Bro, Luffy's grabbing Kizaru the same way we hold that runaway parakeet at Grandma's house, you know? Kizaru's just stunned, can't believe how huge Luffy got. Then, all serious, he goes, hey, quit messing with my work, man. But Luffy doesn't even blink and fires back, you're not laying a finger on this old man. Then he yanks Kizaru like he's a toy and starts spinning him like a wild top. Dude spun so much it looked like he was about to enter the Beyblade World Championship. Then Luffy, all chill, starts winding up his arm like a blender on max speed, getting ready to toss Kizaru like space trash. And when he lets go, oh man, Kizaru flies off so fast even the clouds moved out of the way. You know those white streaks in the sky we think are planes? Nah, that was Kizaru breaking the sound barrier at light speed. Everyone started celebrating like it was all over. Confetti, cheers, the whole party vibe. But let's not get too comfy. Everyone knew Kizaru was coming back to throw hands with the whole crew. Especially since Robin was already down on the floor, looking like she'd just gone through a paper shredder, though, honestly, she was still doing better than Stussy, who was basically dust at that point. Out of nowhere, Stella spots Bonnie sneaking off like she's pulling the "I'm not even here" trick. Then Atlas jumps in. "Alright folks, I'm off to take back control of the pacifistas. Cause if I don't, once the barrier drops, we're all turning into Swiss cheese." Stella, acting all heroic, says he's coming too. But Usopp throws a hand on his chest and goes, "Are you insane? You'll be dead in 5 seconds. You're the Navy's #1 target, dude." Right in the middle of the chaos, Stella tells Frankie that Bonnie's just up ahead. Frankie, completely lost, thought Bonnie had already gone to meet Whitebeard in the afterlife with the way Kizaru kicked her across the map. Stella, pulling the classic angry dad move, yells at Frankie, "How could you let this happen, man?" Then Sanji, already fired up, jumps in, cause someone hurt Bonnie, and for him, that's a declaration of world war. Meanwhile, Jinbe, calm as ever, lets everyone know they've already packed Vegapunk's luggage, like someone casually saying they put the cooler in the back of the van. So Jinbe, after dropping the good news about the luggage, radios Edison and goes, "Bro, you're on your own, I'm outta here with Atlas." And just like that, they dip out of the lab like workers clocking out on a Saturday night shift. Meanwhile, poor Frankie's off in the corner, all gloomy, cause he couldn't protect Bonnie. You can practically hear the sad violin playing in the background. But Lilith's not having it. "Yo, metalhead, quit moping and come help already." All while she's low-key fangirling over Luffy, totally in awe because the guy just treated Kizaru like yesterday's trash. Meanwhile, one of the background marines, yeah, a total extra, no name, no glory, gets spooked by some suspiciously rustling bushes. He gets all nervous, thinking it's a ghost or something, but then shrugs it off and walks away. Little did he know, Bonnie was hiding right there, ready to cause chaos. And oh boy, she wastes no time, clocks the first marine she sees and turns the poor guy into a toddler. No mercy. She starts mowing through marines like it's a Black Friday sale, punching some, turning others into tantrum-throwing kids. The whole thing's so epic you could slap a Hollywood action soundtrack on it. Panicked, the marines call for backup. But in the middle of all the chaos, they stumble upon Sentomaru. Dude looks wrecked, more broken than election promises. Cue a flashback so we get the full picture. Even after taking a serious beating from Kizaru, Sentomaru still managed to protect Bonnie from getting punted into oblivion. A true hero, just laid out on the floor like a dropped action figure. Back to the present, Bonnie feels the guilt hit. Now she owes Sentomaru one. But first, she's got to shake off the relentless marines hot on her trail. Quick pause. If you're loving this madness, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Crewmate, don't sleep on it. Back to the action. Over at the labor phase, our boy Zoro is still locked in combat with Rob Lucci. Lucci's playing defense, circling Zoro in that creepy jaguar mode, like he's prowling in the jungle. But Zoro, man, he's sharper than 5G signal at a tech convention. The moment Lucci tries to land the killing blow, Zoro blocks it like pure instinct. And just like that, the Real Brawl begins, Zoro versus Rob Lucci, the showdown everyone's been waiting for, bigger than a championship final. And if you thought you'd already seen enough chaos and beatdowns, hold on tight. Cause this next part will make your eyes pop, my friend. Zoro, still mid-air, flying like a plastic bag caught in the wind, grabs Lucci and slams him into the ground like an Olympic hammer throw. Meanwhile, Luffy's chilling in Gear 5 mode, laughing like a happy seal, completely relaxed, and still has the nerve to shout, "Hey Zoro! Need a hand over there, bro." But Zoro, with his usual swagger, just fires back. "Don't worry about me. Mind your own mess with Kizaru." And just like that, he's back in the fight like he'd only paused for a quick stretch. After trading a few savage blows, Zoro and Lucci take a short breather, like two soccer players waiting for the VAR decision. Then Zoro, bold as ever, mocks him, saying Lucci's gonna need to eat a whole lot more rice and beans if he ever wants to beat him. Straight up disrespect. Brutal and hilarious. And speaking of Kizaru, remember how Luffy sent him flying with that insane punch? Well, the guy just turns into light and zips right back like nothing even happened. Clearly, he's unfamiliar with the concept of staying down. To make things worse, Kizaru starts pulling out light clones, like a bad party magician trying too hard. Then he whips out a glowing sword and rushes at Luffy like he's about to slice up some rubber sashimi. Luffy starts dodging and countering in a panic, but the attacks are coming from every direction. The dude's more confused than a blind guy in a paintball match. He can't tell which Kizaru is real. Seeing things are getting out of hand, Luffy hits the panic button. Time to go giant again. Now it's full-on GTA mode. Luffy starts smacking Kizaru clones like he's swatting summer mosquitoes. But the clones aren't having it. They all light up like camera flashes, blinding everything and making the whole battlefield a total mess. Kizaru, thinking he's clever, figures, Now that Luffy's the size of a building, I've got a clean shot for the perfect strike. Except, at the last second, he panics. Because Luffy takes the biggest breath imaginable, like someone about to blow out 300 birthday candles, and unleashes a monstrous gust of wind straight at him. The blast is so absurd, so over the top, that it even deflates Luffy, shrinking him back to normal size. It's wind, it's chaos, it's pure madness. Kizaru, who was this close to becoming a runaway kite thanks to Luffy's massive wind blast, somehow manages to grab onto a branch, clinging on like a terrified cat trying not to fall off the curtains. Meanwhile, Luffy's had enough of all these fake Kizarus buzzing around like annoying flies. So, he pulls a genius move, like, Nobel Prize level genius. He stretches his leg way back and unleashes a kick so ridiculous, so over the top, that he manages to wipe out every single Kizaru clone in one shot. But then, plot twist alert. Not a single one of them was the real Kizaru. The real one? Oh, that sneaky guy was already chilling inside the lab, casually pinching Usopp's nose like, "Hey buddy, you're breathing too loud." He walks in like he owns the place and goes, "So, where's Vegapunk?" Right at that moment, Stussy and Atlas show up in a futuristic ride that looks like it was ripped straight out of Back to the Future. Sanji, never missing a chance to hitch a ride, jumps up like, "Yo, take me with you." Meanwhile, Vegapunk's sitting there stressed out about Bonnie, saying he'd never leave a kid behind in a mess like this. Sanji snaps his head around like, "Kid? What do you mean kid? Something smells like drama." But before anyone can unpack that bombshell, Kizaru spots Vegapunk inside the car and suddenly remembers. Oh right, he's the actual target of this mission. No time wasted. Kizaru charges up a deadly laser blast, aims it straight at Vegapunk. And just when you think it's game over, boom, Luffy swoops in, protector of noses, defender of scientists, and eats the laser attack like an anime version of Kirby. Just slurps it right down like it's breakfast. Frankie sees the chaos unfold and does what anyone in his position would do. Dives headfirst into the time travel mobile because this party's clearly just getting started. Then Vegapunk turns to Lilith and yells, "Go! Fire up the plan! We're outta here!" Meanwhile, Edison's doing some hacker-level speedrun and shuts down the lab barrier, clearing the path for their great escape. Or, at least that's the idea. The Marines, on the other hand, start freaking out. Vegapunk escaped. Repeat, the crazy scientist is on the loose. Panic mode activated. The pacifistas, who honestly don't have a clue what's going on, start prepping for a synchronized laser blast to nuke the whole area. But before they fire, Atlas shouts the ultimate command. "Turn on the Marines, you oversized tin cans." And without hesitation, the pacifistas pull a full Uno reverse and start blasting the Marines instead. Everyone's stunned. Nobody saw that one coming. And just when you thought things couldn't get more insane, the Gorosei Eye starts moving, standing up like the final boss in an RPG cutscene, slowly stepping into the chaos. Yeah, things are about to go completely off the rails. And in the next episode of One Piece, buckle up my friend, cause things are about to get even crazier. Gorosei Eye Saturn is finally getting out of his chair and stepping into the chaos himself, ready to make the Straw Hats' lives harder than beating Dark Souls with a blindfold on. So don't sleep on it, hit that subscribe button right now, because the next recap is gonna be absolutely insane, and trust me, you won't wanna miss it. We're in this together, crewmates. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.